Yeah. Welcome to the live broadcast, Biafrans all over the nations of the world. You're welcome. So, pardon me, as usual, I'll begin with trying to make some updates as I come on and try to send some information all over so that people can be part of what we're doing. I want to welcome you to this live broadcast today. This is Biafra Global Network, and my name is Kelechi Ambrose, as usual. You know me, or you don't know me. I welcome you all. Just kidding there. Thank you for joining. As you join in, please just like the video, share on all your social media platforms so that others can join us immediately, because we're going to be dealing on some critical things today. We're going to be speaking very extensively on some very, very important issues, details today. And remember, today is the birthday of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and you see, I'm using the picture of him in the dungeon. You remember when he was brought in from court, into the courts about 2 days or so after he was tortured in Kenya and extraordinarily renditioned to the zoo called Nigeria. And of course, in conjunction and collaboration with some of people in IPOB, especially we hold those ones who are working with the DOS, critically responsible for what has happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But of course, as we have always mentioned, the time will come we're going to be dealing with that issue very critically, so that we'll be able to have, a vivid, and comprehensive information on what happened to our leader. We're not going to take it lightly. This is 2 years and about 3-4 months now. He's in the dungeon of the DSS, in the contraption called Nigeria. He's in the KG dingy dungeon of the DSS. And we know that some of our people were responsible. Some of them collected millions to do that. But the time is coming when they all will be dealt with. But for now, I want to say happy birthday to our leader in the dungeon. The afterthought betrayal, the betrayal, the everything happening, right now, Chukwuokie knows about them, and we are certain that we are going to get a victory at last. And so that's why we are here. Just give me a moment. Sorry, just in 1 minute, I'll be through with what I'm doing, and then I'll come strongly and go on with what we have to do today. Now, remember that today is 25th of September, 2023, and today is the birthday of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We can't forget what has been done to our leader. We cannot forget what the enemies have done, but we're not perturbed by the enemies. We are not moved by the rhetorics and the madness around. Thank you so much, Apama, for joining. Shalom, Wachineke. Thank you so much to you also, Dodorigi, too. Good to have you. Good to have you. Thank you so much. I want to welcome you all. Yeah, Daniel, good to have you. Good to have you. Good day to you also. I appreciate you, my brother. Good to have you here. I want us to, today is the 25th day. That's Monday, 25th day of, it's been a long time, my brother. I just was so engaged in lots of things, and that took my time. I'm sorry. I had to, I have since last week, Wednesday, I've not been on, but hopefully by God's grace, I'll create more time to make sure that, because the sacrifice we all have to do for the cause of our freedom is enormous. And so, but it is worth it, and we shall continue to sacrifice to make sure that we get to our promised land. Thank you so much, Akwama. Good to have you. Thank you. Happy birthday, Mazen Namikano. Great Iroko tree of our time. You shall live long. He say to that prayers. And I know that every one of you are celebrating Mazen Namikano's birthday. I decided to use his picture as the background today, so that it would be refreshed on our minds what Mazen Namikano, has gone through because of Biafra people. In spite of the betrayals we are seeing left, right, center, and everywhere around, people using him as their takia. Remember the word takia, using him as their takia. When Boko Haram, when ISIS and all those terrorist groups want to kill someone, you hear them shouting Allahu Akbar. As they cut the person's neck, they're shouting Allahu Akbar. That's called takia, manipulation. They make you believe that God is in this. What we are doing is guaranteed and endorsed by God. The same way also, most people who are committing crime in our land today, using the name of Mazen Namdekano as takia. They tell you we're fighting for the freedom of Mazen Namdekano. We are doing this. We are standing strong to keep the legacy of Mazen Namdekano. But they are using his name as takia for the purpose of their aggrandizement, selfish aggrandizement, and selfish ends and all of that. And of course, we know all of that. Definitely in Biafra, once we have our nation, we are going to bring those guys under the law to face the repercussion and the consequences of what they have done, consequences of betrayal. I want to thank you all. This is 7 minutes past 6 p.m. Biafra time right now. I don't know where you are, but in Biafra land now it is 7 minutes past 6, and for those of you outside Biafra land, some of you, 5 minutes, 7 minutes past 5, 7 minutes past 8, and all of that. Those who are in the UK, who are, everywhere, South Africa, I think, and all of that. But anywhere, however it is 7 minutes past your time. The time where I am is 7 minutes past 5, 7 minutes past 6, Biafra land. Thank you all. I appreciate you. Now, there is something very, very critical that we must understand here, that for the fact that people are in activities, you see them doing lots of things, showing their ignorance, displaying lots of things. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about we have been seeing so many things happening on social media. And today you see Simon misbehaving, telling you he has Biafra Liberation Army. After the betrayal, he is now causing strong division, strong confusion in Biafra land. Now, the other day, last week, he had his men go to attack a police or a military checkpoint. According to him, I want to let you guys understand. So, you see, any plan that does not have a solid foundation on the people. Now, let me tell you, one thing you must understand is this. Nobody on their right mind without analyzing or looking critically into the consequences of such. And I want to talk to those, in Biafra land, several armed groups, including the one Simon is parading his militia. And I'm going to tell you the reason why of these armed groups, to take over the mandate of our freedom. I'm going to, you can understand how we can juxtapose this and understand it. Now, look at last week, after they went and burnt the police. They went to the military checkpoint and killed the soldiers and the policemen there and the other personnel there. The next thing that happened is the military, the police, and all of that went back to reorganize themselves, and then they come back to unleash terror on the communities around that area. Anytime we have such kinds of attacks, we have the retaliation from the military. Remember, in the northern part of the zoo, in the Hausa Kingdom area, where the Fulanis are strongly in control, you know, when the military is killed in the community, nobody goes. The military does not go to revenge or to attack the communities. They just believe it's the militias that have killed their men, and life goes on. And most of those men who are killed in those places are Biafrans, who foolishly have joined the Nigerian military or the Nigeria armed forces. Now they go to retaliate, and you know that it is always different in Biafra land. Whenever there is a killing in the community, you kill a military personnel in the community, you will discover that the military will come back and kill most of the young people in that community, take some of them, harvest their organs, do lots of things, which means that our case is different. And whenever you have your case different from the norm, all you need to do is that you strategize to minimize, the effects, the negative effects of your action. And any group that truly is for Biafra will not carry out an action that will backfire on any community, especially when you don't have a backup to see that you stop, or at least to an extent fight back the revenge or the retaliation that is going to come from any attack. So if you go to a community where you have a military checkpoint and you decide to blow them up, shoot them and kill them, then be ready to have your men stationed in that community to repel every counter attack, because you guys don't have the network is giving me some problems. Please bear with me. The network is crazy here. I don't have evidence to back that up, but I know that sometimes, especially when it comes to such things, when you see some kind of unreasonable killings, you'll understand that there's something behind it. Sometimes most of these guys use the lives of people as sacrifice against, for their own selfish, aggrandizement and all of that. They go kill soldiers, and then the soldiers come to retaliate in those communities and kill innocent people, and these kinds of things service their evil sacrifices and their juju and all of this stuff. Ego, good to see you here. I've been looking forward to your message. You are here. Thank you so much for joining. Why are you causing problems to the innocent people you claim you are protecting? Yes, that's what they're doing. Because when you go to the community where you find a military checkpoint and you go to kill the military men there in the name of looking for freedom, you are only going to stir up problems. And the military will come back to those communities, kill the young men. They have been doing all of this stuff. And you know that this is always the case. And you still want to go and kill military people at the checkpoints. And you know you don't have what it takes to stop them when they come to attack. That means what you are doing is deliberate and intentional. That means you are evil. All these groups, I don't know your names, whether Biafra, whatever you call yourselves, and go to checkpoints and kill military people, and then you run away to the bush and hide. And then when they come back to attack the community, you will not be there to protect the community. Don't think you are going to go scot-free by all these misbehaviors. Don't think so. Don't think so. Because it's either the spirit of Biafra arrests you, or the law of Biafra would hold you responsible. We don't forgive in that regard. So if you think you're committing all these crimes you guys are committing, and you think you are going to go scot-free, you are joking. Don't attack a military checkpoint when you don't have what it takes to protect the community where that military checkpoint is located. What kind of senseless freedom fighting is this? Of course, sometimes it's even for their juju, because they just kill some people. They sacrifice human heads to protect themselves. They tell you when they are shot at, the bullet will not get into them. So they use humans for sacrifices, and these are the strategies. You go to the checkpoint, you kill security. Let me not call them security personnel, anyways, because they are not security personnel. They are slave, and the tools of the slave masters against the people. Yes, we know that is it. But for us to get rid of them, we need a comprehensive plan, not a stupid plan. You don't go and kill when you know it's going to affect the people that you claim you are fighting for. You don't just go to a place, kill the soldiers, and then you disappear, and you allow the community vulnerable. They have no weapons to protect themselves. They're vulnerable. The military comes, take their young men, take their young ladies, rape them, kill them, harvest their organs. And you begin to claim, you begin to say, you begin to put on social media that you have dealt with the Nigerian military and all of that, because you want those giving you money to continue to give you money to buy bullets. So because you want to give them an impression you're working. You want to give them an impression that you are succeeding. Yes, you have killed Nigerian military. Is that how to get freedom? You just kill. When you kill, after that, what else? What plan do you have on ground? These plans, these kinds of killings will only affect your people. Except you don't have an ulterior motive, you can't carry out such kinds of action. And that's the truth. Cowards, they cause problems and can't stand up to them when they come for the innocent ones. That's it. That's it. How can? And I don't understand why our people are this very evil. Mazin Namdekan has said it several times. Don't carry out an action that will cost the life. You go there, you burn to ashes military personnel in the van, in a particular there to secure the community. If you know you got the weapons, the arsenal, and everything to carry out such kind of random killings and sporadic killings, why not get your men in those communities to protect them? That means your motive is not pure. I can't just take AK-47 and all of that, go to a place, kill military personnel in those areas. When I know what the military, they are always looking for opportunity to kill our people. And when you kill them like this, they use that opportunity to come for our young men, pick them, and you know what they do with them? They harvest their organs. They harvest their organs, sell. That's what they do to them. You guys know. You see a young man alive, a young lady alive. They'll be tearing their body, bringing out their organs. They are still alive, screaming, unbearable pain. And you are doing this kind of evil so that they'll keep taking our people. Why? Now, let me tell you something. The reason why I titled this program, Why You Don't Need Biafra Now, I'm going to tell you the reason. Because if you think that just getting freedom is all we need, then something is critically wrong. Our freedom is sacrosanct, very, very important, and very, 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 very dear to us. We need our freedom. But the truth here is, we don't need our freedom from the hands of criminals and militias, because the situation we're going to have is going to be worse than being even in the hands of the slave masters, because the slave masters utilize diplomatic means, whereas the militias and the criminals utilize brutality, even if, of course, they are all, these are two sides of brutality. But at least, but the militias would get you. It is more annoying when you know that it is even your own brother that is making you a slave. It is easier to accept on your mind, Rem, that you have, you are under slavery by someone who came from somewhere and maybe caught you or something happened, and somehow you are their slave, than to understand that you are a slave under your brother. It's mild on the brain, on your mind, but it is heavy on your mind to know that it is your brother that has put you under slavery. The only thing I'm against is those criminals condemning the killing of Zoo army, the same Zoo army that have been killing Biafrans all this while. This is to confirm the US are working with the zoo. Yes, you are correct, my brother. The only thing I am against is those condemning. Yes. Now, it is not about condemning, but it's about having a plan. Sometimes some people don't know how to argue a matter out and bring out the facts. So you see them condemn the killing of the military, but maybe on their mind realm, they are trying to say that the killing is causing a problem. Now, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Last week, I think it was on Friday. I don't know how many of you heard the news. Was it on Friday or Thursday? And of course, you see the international media platforms, they just announced it once, and that was all. The militias and kidnappers and killers, the terrorists, went to a university hostel, female hostel, in Zamfara State, Gusau, talking about the capital of that state. They took most of the female students away. And the news is that the Nigerian military, engaged them, but they couldn't overwhelm them. So the guys went away with those number of ladies, and till date, everywhere is quiet. Announced, oh, there is a kidnap in Nigeria, the capital, and girls were carried to, into captivity. They were kidnapped. That is the end. The international media would say about us. That's how far they just have to announce it as a news. For the past 1 week plus, they have been talking about Armenia, Azerbaijan, and they were talking about some few people kidnapped in a particular, I think Armenia or something. I've forgotten it. They keep saying people, but the group of girls kidnapped in Zamfara State is no more news for them. Just one person that was being pursued because people, they have been talking about a person for the past month, and recently they've been talking about it almost every day. Now that tells you that the international community has no interest in your freedom. Now, let me give you an instance here, because the truth here is that we must understand some things. We need our freedom, but we don't need our freedom through criminals, because it is worse off when you allow criminals give you what you are looking for. Because what they do, just like most of you who are always supporting Russia. Russia is doing, Russia is coming to free. Russia is doing this. Russia is supporting Russia never supported Biafra in the first place. Russia was part of the countries that killed Biafrans in 1967. Joined Biafrans in 1970, 3.5 years. They were killed. Russians flew the jets. Egyptians flew the jets. Some of these weapons provided by Russia and Britain. Now, do you know that the reason why Russia is looking or trying to behave as if they are supporting some African countries is because they want to get at Britain, America, and the West. Not because they love you. So if you think that Russia is doing all this because they want to give you freedom, you are stupid. Honestly, you are a complete fool. Because thinking that Russia is doing this, Russia is doing that, African liberation is coming, you are a joker. Because by the time they are able to get rid of America and United Nations forces and all of that, and then they now leave their Wagner group here, you will now begin to understand brutality. They will take control, and of course they will put measures to secure themselves very well. And they will make sure they put the right people there for themselves, who would only secure their interest. We need our freedom. Now, let me tell you this. In the year 2011, I think in January 2011, and there was a referendum conducted in South Sudan. They had been having this loggerheads and war with I think they had their independence in 1956 or so, and they've been having these loggerheads. You remember, Sudan was colonized by Britain and also, of course, Egypt. So these two forces were over Sudan, because Sudan is a nation where people were just coming from different parts of the world, and where they are always taking us, slaves and all of that. And in between the 15th to 19th century, people were just flocking different tribes, and all of that's made of different tribes. And the southern part is basically Christian, and the northern part basically Islamic. And of course, critically, anyways, when the slave masters came, Britain and all of that, the north was easy to conquer, whereas the south was stubborn, like the Biafrans. So they took time to develop the north and gave them what they want. And so there was this marginalization. Even after the so-called freedom, the so-called independence that was granted, there was this marginalization where the south was marginalized by the north, just like what we have in the zoo today, in the contraption called Nigeria. You have the north, the Fulanis are given the power to marginalize and keep the people subdued. And what is being done to Biafrans. Biafrans have the whole resources. Biafrans are producing everything. Biafrans have the crude oil. Biafrans have the gold, have everything in their land, bitumen, and iron ore, and all the resources, natural resources, and all of that, and even human resources. But yet Britain thinks that they can control the Fulanis, being that the Fulanis are not indigenous to the land. And so since they are criminals trying to take your land, they also need criminals to secure on their behalf. So Britain brings up people like that to take control, even if they don't have the technical know-how and all of that stuff to do all of that. Britain provides them with the technical knowledge on how to keep us under slavery. Now, so as soon as South Sudan got its independence, they had their referendum after so many wars and wars between South and North. In the end, they were forced to have a referendum, and in January, the referendum was conducted. In July, there was this semi-autonomy given to South Sudan. They had the nation. Of course, after that referendum, they had their own nation. But let me tell you something. There's a point I want to bring out here so that you guys can understand. The people who were fighting on the part of South Sudan were illiterates, were militias, were criminals, who were seeking to have a territory for themselves to control, not because they want freedom for their people, but because they want the territory to be under them and have a control of the territory. So the fight was, so when they were fighting and talking about we want our freedom of the freedom of South Sudan, they actually were using South Sudan as an alibi or as takia to their program, because all they were looking for was control. There were people who want to have control, dominate the people. So they are South Sudan, whatever they are called, South Sudan, Sudanas, or whatever they are calling, they call them, or whatever they're being called. I don't know. They are the people of the South. They need control. The North was dominant, was controlling the territory. Now they want to go away from the Sudan and have their own nation called South Sudan, and then still have themselves control the other. So the issue here was about control, not about the freedom. The freedom is an alibi. It's like a means to an end. You just have to get it using this as an alibi. What is alibi? That means as an excuse. The militias, just like what we have in Biafra land today, you see different groups, criminals, and they all claim that they are fighting for freedom. They came and destabilized Mazen and the Kanu's program, created their militia group, and some of you don't understand what had happened or what is happening. Some of you don't understand. The same way also these militias that were fighting with the North Sudan, northern part of Sudan, to have their freedom, were everywhere. They had different militias. Right? The network, right? Yeah. They were seeking for their selfish ends. They want to have a territory to control, even if they were claiming that they were fighting for the freedom of their people. Today, we have so many groups who have come up since Mazen Amdekanu was kidnapped. Simon, that we all trusted, gave the trust, decided to destroy the ESN, the Eastern Security Network, created his militia using your resources, your funds, because we tell you to stop contributing to him. But of course, he has collected money for 1 year plus. And he uses those monies to divide the camp to have his own militia. And now his militia is telling you they want to get freedom for you, but they are seeking for control. So what they do is they want to get rid of those people who would threaten their ability to control Biafra land. They are telling you about freedom, but their motive is to get freedom under their own control where they can dominate and control you. Now look at what happened to Oji, Innocent Oji last week. I'm not saying Innocent. I don't know about Innocent Oji very well. I don't know him at all. In fact, I don't know him at all. It's what we see on social media. You know, he was warned not to work with Simon. He decided to go with Simon, and then as soon as he said, as soon as he refused to work with Simon anymore, Simon sets him up, and then they sold him out to the Nigeria contraption, and then he was attacked. His camp invaded, and you know, all of you can tell what happened to his camp last week. Now, what is happening now? If you remember something, I want to point out something. If you observe this period since the beginning of this month, Simon has been displaying a particular face. One particular guy who claims that he's in charge of the Biafra Liberation Army, and that guy has been showing his face, just like Oji was doing. Remember, Oji shows his face. His men, you know, cover their faces, but he shows his face to give himself an image in the minds of the Nigeria contraption as a resistant force. Now, Simon feels that he needs to have his man tactically in that kind of position, whose face Biafrans will know and the Nigeria contraption will know, whose face will become a cynosure of an impression on your mind. So psychologically, Simon wants to impute that memory of that face in your mind. So whenever he comes on social media and speak, you would believe that Simon has men, and then you keep contributing your monies and giving him your monies. Some of you are. So what Simon needed to do was to get rid of Oji so that his own man's face will become the selling face. He sets Oji, Innocent, up. His camp and agents in it. You know, Ngozi Arabueze is a Nigeria agent, and other people, Nigeria agents in Simon's camp. And of course, they know he's getting money from them, so he is not bothered because he knows what he wants. He wants to have control. It's not about getting the freedom. Now, listen, Simon has seen Oji as a threat. As long as Oji's face is on the media, Oji seemed to have the show, or Oji seemed to catch more attention or get more attention by the name or maybe under the auspices of a military formation. So since we know that Oji is in charge of Biafra National Guard, which is also another way to talk about a military wing of Biafra, Simon needed to get rid of that camp so that he will be able to deal with Biafrans on a neutral platform where the attention will not be divided, having two military ground, you know, the one for Oji and the one for Simon. So all he needed to do is to set Oji up so that Oji will be disarmed. That weakens Oji. As soon as Oji is disarmed, then his man, his military, and that face he's projecting, which is also a cynosure of what Oji was doing, Oji's face being projected to the public. And anytime people see his face, they believe that they have seen the Biafra military face. I mean, the face of the Biafra military. But Simon wants the face of Oji to be eradicated, to be taken away from the scene. Because as soon as you disarm him, he becomes weak. And he becomes vulnerable. And so you'll be scared of coming out. And then his man, whom he has put in charge of his so-called Biafra Liberation Army, will now project his face continually. That face will now take the place of Oji. And then so that you, whenever you talk about Biafra Army, you'll be looking at Biafra and Simon's men. so that you will be taking your monies to them just to defraud you. Now you see the plan. And the reason why I said we don't need Biafra now is because we must get rid of these criminal militia groups. If we allow them get us freedom, which network, they're only exciting you with the knowledge or an impression or a feeling of freedom. So that now South today, now let me finalize that story. Let me finalize that story. Please bear with me. I don't know what's going on here. Please bear with me. One. Yeah, I hope okay, I hope okay, you can see because this network signal should allow me. I hope I'm not breaking. Please let me know if I'm breaking so you can get the okay network here. It's terrible here. Please I hope you can hear me clearly now so you don't miss the point. Why you don't need Biafra now. Now remember, Biafra is not the name Biafra represents our desire to be free. That doesn't mean we're going to use that name when we get our nation. We might change it. So name should not be a problem. So whenever I talk about Biafra, don't argue. You don't argue trifles. You don't need that because that argument does not hold water. So you just get your freedom, no matter the name. Get our freedom, and after that we can talk about, you know. Now listen. Remember, Nelly was talking about Idu and other people. Other people have different impression about the name we should bear, but that shouldn't be an issue because the name will always have names, and we'll sit as a nation and discuss it. We're going to discuss it, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now, let me take the story of South Sudan. As soon as South Sudan got its independence in 2011, did you know what happened? It was like the people felt and thought it was going to be, just as, oh wow, we've gotten our freedom, smooth sail. Wow, it's time to enjoy. It's time to enjoy. It's time to, oh wow, what a sigh of relief. We are free. But they never knew that the people who helped them get the freedom are selfish people, militias fighting for power. So there's different groups, the rival groups began to fight for power over South Sudan. Different conflicts. Now, till today, you hear the conflict. The nation is not settled. They have gotten freedom, but it is worse off because different groups coming up, fighting the government. The one who sets up the government, wants to hijack the power completely. Another one wants to take power from them. And because militia groups were permitted to seek for freedom, so they feel entitled to control the people. That's it. They feel it is their birthright to control you because you gave not you, because I'm talking about South Sudan. They feel it's their birthright to control the people of South Sudan because the people of South Sudan gave them their recommendation and endorsed them to fight for them. Just like we're telling you now, all those militia groups dancing here and there, dancing naked in the market, telling you they want to get you Biafra freedom. They are not fighting for your freedom. They are fighting for power. Even if Biafra is gotten today, they want to be the ones in control. Now, let me give you an instance. Remember the issue of the Biafra currency. Let me give you an instance because sometimes you people don't reason. Sometimes you have to make you reason. That's why Mazen Amekano will say he can relate with baboons. Sometimes you guys don't reason, especially those ones who are always don't reason. Now, let me give you this instance. Simon has his militia groups right now. Is his militia group, sorry. Chinasa has his group. Nena has her group. Different groups have come up since Mazen Amkano was kidnapped and extraordinarily renditioned. Now, each of these groups hates the other. They kill one another. If this group sees the other one, they want to kill that one and all of that and all of that. Now, in all of these, they create commotion. They create, unrests in Biafra land because rival groups are fighting and all of them having their cults. Their cult groups. They're all fighting. Now, they give you an impression that they are actually creating tension for Nigeria, whereas they are creating tension for the people. And along the line of this tension, of course, they also attack any other thing they see, whether Nigeria forces, whether the other rival groups and all of that. All of them are enemies to their own personal groups. So anything that is outside their group should be killed, whether Nigeria agents or any other group. And whenever they kill the Nigeria agents, whenever they kill their fellow Biafrans and the people that are on the other group, they don't come to announce it to you because they know that you don't need that information. But they will show you videos and pictures of the killings of Nigeria agents and all of that to make you feel that they are getting you freedom, or to give you sometimes most of our people that they feel they're coming closer to their freedom because a military person has been killed. Senseless. The fact that you have a video or something telling you that a Nigeria agent has been killed does not mean you are close to freedom. It only means that you are causing tension for your people because you don't have what it takes to stop the military when they come to attack your people. Now, let me tell you this. As soon as South Sudan allowed these militia groups secure their freedom, today they feel like they are still under slavery. They are being killed because criminals came to their rescue. Don't get so desperate and think the source of your freedom is what freedom is divine. The word freedom is critically divine. It comes from its source is truth. You shall know the truth. The truth will make you free, right? So you understand that freedom is not a product of criminality. So when you allow criminality, now let me give you an instance. Let me give you a biblical reference. When Satan told Jesus or Yeshua, because I don't like calling him Jesus, I don't know what the British mean by Jesus because I don't understand. So let me call him his original Hebrew name. So I tell you guys, Yeshua. I don't know what they worship. They can't use Jesus, and they're using it to put us in slavery. Yeshua. So that's his real name. So let's call him Yeshua. Yahweh Yeshua. Now, when he was on earth and Satan told him, I am going to give you all of these things. Just bow and worship. Just bow and worship and you get all of this stuff. That means you are going to have what you came for on a platter of gold. You don't need to go to the cross to have this. Now, that simply means that it is possible that the devil or evil people can disguise their evil against you by even making you think they are fighting to give you what you want because they know that you are desperate for what you want. Desperation, of course, in the negative, has a way of controlling your emotion so that you don't reason well. Because whenever your emotion overrides your sensibility, you become vulnerable to the consequences. Because you would only reason with your emotion. And emotion is not the place, it's not the platform of reasoning. The emotion only, it works by the feeling, but you subject it to the ability to reason on the altar of reasoning. And so that you can actually prioritize everything you're doing. South Sudan permitted and allowed militia groups, just like what we have today in Biafra land. Now, can you imagine the internal wrangling? Now, for you to know who is pure and who is truly fighting for freedom, check out all these militia groups. No group sees the other group and let them go free. Simon's group cannot see Chinansa's group and allow any of them to go free. They must kill them. Chinansa's group cannot see the other Kanu's group and allow them go free. They must kill them. None of them tell you all of this stuff. They are hiding from one another. And they are claiming to fight for freedom. They cannot come on a single front, decide on what to do, right? But because they want to have their groups, because they want to have control and all of that. And that is just because they seek to control you. Knowing that you seek freedom, they preach freedom to you so that you can emotionally be attached to them. And after being attached to them, you would become vulnerable to every of their demands, and they would keep equipping themselves with weapons to fight against the other groups so that they can take control. And in case the Nigeria contraption gets tired of the killings of their men and maybe something happens and then freedom comes, you will now be under them. You will now be a Biafran in the so-called free nation, but being controlled by a gang, a cult group. Now, let me tell you something. Let me give you guys some information. Did you know I was talking about this issue of the currency? Because I want you to understand something. For you to know those who truly have the interest of your freedom in heart, check their idiosyncratic operations. Now, that means what I mean is the pattern of their freedom, so-called freedom fight. You will see, you must see traces of selfishness if they are not genuine. For instance, remember the issue of the currency in February on the advisory board of Biafra, when I was on that board with them, with Simon and Co. When they brought the issue of the currency, and they said they want me to go and print, do the design of the currency, the Biafra currency, and then why do you want to have this face? And they said my face too. No, I don't need my face on the coin, because I am not. You can't talk about in the face of every economy. You can't just put any face on the currency. They want to put their faces on the currency, whereas we have people who have served. Now, why currency? And tell me also they want to put my face because they want me to agree to that idea. When they don't do that, why? Ask yourself this question: why would any reasonable person want to put their face on Biafra? They know there are people who have sacrificed, died. When you look at currencies of different nations, you see it will be some of their founding, persons and those who have fought. Really, not people who are fighting now, having their faces on the currency. That is the reason why. That is the confusion. That is the reason why we had issues. That was the quarrel. That was the beginning of the quarrel. I had with Simon, and my team had with Simon. I insisted that, and my team insisted, you cannot put your faces on the currency. And that was the now anybody who is genuine will not see that as that alone is a red flag. That alone shows you that they don't have interest of in their heart. That alone is a proof that these guys are not genuine. If they ever get freedom for you, now let me tell you what's going to happen. Because do you know why I don't need Biafra now? Biafra now, we need to set our house in order. We need to get rid of all these militia groups. We need a genuine platform, which the accountability and transparency group is fronting right now. That is not controlled by anybody. I've told you people, accountability and transparency group can never be controlled by anybody. Remember, I have fought internally to make sure that nobody controls it. Those who brought their heads up because they thought they are close to me, I will accept any nonsense. I told them, you can't control the people's will. This group, the people's will, the people's decision takes preeminence. Don't come and impose your will on other people. That's the issue. And they went off and formed their own group. Because I said, you will not impose your group on the people. I mean, so your will on the people. When they bring ideas, they want me to agree to it. I said, no. We can't take it. The people will decide. And when they bring a criminal arrangement, I say no. That is why they went away and decided to create another group and called it the same name of this group, Accountability and Transparency Group, because they want to set confusion. That is a proof that they are rebellious. That is a proof that they are not genuine. Because even if you want to leave a group, they were supposed to be suspended. Even if you want to leave a group, leave the group and form yours and give it another name. Why give it the same name of the group you are leaving? Because you want to set confusion. I'm reading your messages, but I want to finish my thoughts before I begin to look at it critically. I'm reading your messages. Why would anybody say they want their face on the Biafra currency? What sacrifice have they made for Biafra? Because we're all seeking for our freedom, so you just put your face on the currency? And you tell me you want to put my face on the currency so that I'll accept your nonsense? You think I'm looking for position? That's not what I came for. I came for true freedom. And it must be attained and acquired by truth. You shall know the truth. The truth will make you free. It's a process, not set you free. Making is a process. Making is a process. The truth will make you. So the process of freedom comes through the application of truth in different segments or dispensation of the program of freedom. It must be interpreted to still hold the ideology of truth in all the phases towards freedom. I don't know whether some of you understand what I'm saying. And today, we have different militia groups. Now today, OG, Innocent, has been displaced. Simon is fronting another face. So that, you don't know the psychological game that is being played. OG Innocent has been, on the minds of Biafrans as the face of Biafra military. OG Innocent has been, whether you like it or not, somehow when you talk about the Biafra military, the first one that comes to your mind is OG, because he has been there doing lots of things, doing lots of things on his own. He didn't come to destroy Mazen Amikanu's program. He was doing on his own. He cannot be perfect anyways. He makes his mistakes. But at least he knew his path. Everybody understood. Mazen Amikanu understood that OG Innocent is doing his own. Everybody understands that. Then suddenly Simon comes and disrupts that program. He knows that psychologically OG has bought the minds of the people as the face of Biafra military. So for him to take control, just like he did against ESN, using ESN to raise funds, he disorganized ESN, disrupted the program of ESN, cut them off, took some of them, brought them over, turned them to his militia, and disorganized the ESN. Now he needs to form a military wing. And he sees OG as the threat. So he sets Orji up, destroys Orji, disarm him using the Nigeria contraption military, and then he fronts his man. Remember, before this was going to happen, he was fronting somebody. Remember, beginning of this month, fronting that person, so that that person will now come to register on your mind psychologically as the face of Biafra military. But he knows that people and Biafrans know that Orji is the face. So all he needs to do is to disarm Orji and have this guy that he's fronting as that face. Because when that face is represented, that face will always talk about Simon. And so it will be that he's in charge and in control. So what he does is he disarms Orji and puts you in a situation where you begin to think that, oh my. It's funny, the kinds of things that are happening. My face is dark, right? It's getting dark here. It's getting dark. It's getting dark. Maybe I'm going to have to switch on the light. I think I have just a few minutes. All right, so I have a few minutes to continue this broadcast because we need to round off so we can actually. I don't want to go. You remember I said I won't be exceeding 1 hour, 10 minutes, and all of that. I'll be through. Now let me go to your messages because I need to look at the messages. Maybe I should get some information from what you guys have been saying, here, and lots of messages. But I just begin from a point. Okay, I want to wish to Mazen Amkanu's happy birthday. And also, we wish him happy birthday. Honestly, I'm just remembering what they have done to that man, the sacrifices and everything. Happy birthday. Daniel says, happy birthday to the great man, Mazen Amkanu. Thank you so much, Daniel. I've not seen the E-Frogs. The E-Frogs are not here today. They're not posting an. Okay, I saw one E-Frog abusing me. He's working for his master. His masters have sent him to come here and abuse me. I don't know why someone will come to my broadcast and begin to abuse me in the first place. If you you came to watch to abuse, that means you're an E-Frog. Frogs cannot cause any harm. I've told you guys, stop calling them E-Rats. Rats can cause harm. They can go into your documents and destroy it, or get into your food and destroy it. But frogs jump here and there, making unnecessary noise, irritating noise. That's what frogs do. So we call them E-Frogs. They jump into any platform that they know is threatening their kingdom of criminality, and they come to insult. That's all they can do, irritating stuff. We don't give them attention. Akoma says, good day, Mazi Daniel. Okay, you greeting Daniel and all of that. And then we have Ego, okay, of course, and we never suffer in vain. Akoma says, our able leader, MNK, you will never suffer in vain. All hail Biafra. MNK, our hero. Yes, he's our hero. Ego says they purposefully do this evil because they benefit from the disabilities. Yes, that's it. Because it helps to build their cabal and their platforms and all of that. Alcon says, he who hates MNK is enemy of Mbibo. May okay, bless MNK and celebrate. Yeah, thank you so much. Another message. Cowards, they cause problems. Cowards, they cause problems. And can't stand up to them when they come for the innocent ones. That's it. That's true. They benefit from the evil. Yes, that's it. IPOB remains the strongest freedom movement in the whole world. Yes, definitely. It's the number one freedom movement all over the nations of the world. IPOB is still there, formidable. Those who have come to cause to destabilize the whole thing and cause confusion, you will soon be taken away from the scene. You're just dancing around naked in the market. You'll soon be out of the scene. IPOB remains the strongest, yes. Pure wickedness, yes. You're relating to what I was analyzing then, okay? Daniel says, the only thing I am against is these criminals condemning the killing of Zoo Army, the same Zoo Army that have been, okay? I've mentioned that before. Someone in my every day is for the thief, one day for the owner. Yes, that's true. It's a systematic way of ethnic cleansing, and some of those who claim to be saving the people are aiding them to carry out the operations. That's true. Monkey go market, go return. Oh my. That's it. So now I'm having some stuff with okay. Um, Another message. I think accountability needs to come out now, Mazi. I think let's open your phone calls today. Let's give one or two people to call in to hear their opinions. Yes, Daniel, I'm going to try to open the phone lines on Saturday so that we can actually have because my things are not set yet. The phone also is switched off, and so I didn't remember to do that. If I'd seen this message, I would have charged it, but it's not charged now, so I can't open the phone lines for calls to come in. But I will open it on Saturday. I will open it on Friday, Saturday. These 2 days, I will open those who want to call in and don't want to speak can call in and so that they can speak. And so I'm going to open it. Thank you so much, Daniel, for that. I'm going to do that. I think accountability. Okay, I've said that before. Still on this nonsense. Okay. Okay. Let's see others. Elohim only forgives those who make mistakes, and there is a huge difference between mistakes and injustice. Injustice is the darkness that extinguishes the light of truth. That's a great one. That's a good one there. That's a good message here. Okay. All right. And we have another message. um, I don't know why Biafrans are keep on donating their hard-earned money every week. This is unbelievable. They're donating to criminals. We've told them, their donation stuff had gone low. So what they engage in now is criminality. They go into kidnapping. Simon's men go kidnap people, take ransom. That's where they're making their monies now. But of course, that would end soon. Okay, those people that claim Grima is a cultist, I would not argue with them because how can he can be able to control? He's not controlling. Okay, he's controlling some people, not all Biafrans in diaspora. He's controlling those who want to be controlled. It's normal. Even Chinasa is controlling those he can control. It's not. See, let me tell you people something. It is normal, especially when people are vulnerable. When they are desperate, they will fall into the hands of criminals. You see those who fall into the hands of people 419ers, as we call, fraud. It's because that invest $100, you will make $1,000 in 2 hours, and you just bring your money and you put in. You're so greedy and you are stupid because you're desperate. And when desperation comes, you don't even analyze. You don't listen to logic. You don't listen to make any sound reasoning anymore. You are looking at that $1,000. Wow, $1,000, just $100 to $1,000. You don't look at the process. You are not asking questions. Let's go on with the messages so I can round off today. It's already, those okay. I said Mazi. Yes, that's true, and the truth. He's doing all these terrible things because he doesn't want MNK to be out. Nobody can stop MNK from coming out. He's going to come out. There's so many messages I can't really read them because of the time. Like I said, Mazi, only MNK can stop Eprima. That is why Mazin Mikano must be released anytime from now. He'll be released. Nobody can stop his release. He has suffered enough. This is 2 years and 3 months in the hands of the Nigeria contraption, the Nigeria. We are watching. I'm looking like a Dumpty. So I'll stop here for now, and I think I'm going to use the audio. So let me remove the video because it's odd there. Now I'll stop here for now, and I'm going to come on live tomorrow, same time, Biafra time. I'm going to be here, and I'm going to continue on this narrative, but another topic, anyways. But critically, I'm going to analyze further the issue of South Sudan and how it relates with what we're doing. And I want to stop contributing monies to the criminals. Second, don't allow yourself to be carried away by different activities here and there. Hey, this the water here, that water there. That water is just to impress you to contribute. It does not fall in line with constructive plan for freedom. I've told you guys that this freedom comes with, we are not in the Stone Age. So when you're doing things in the current age, you need tactical plan, not just come out and go to a checkpoint and kill military men, and then you come to social media to display their bodies and begin to tell everybody, water, here, you have killed this. It doesn't make sense. You are trying to fool those who give you money so that they will say, wow, you are doing great. They give you more money. And you that is giving them more money, you don't have sense. You know why? You don't just release money. You think, some of you are abroad, of course, you work in companies and all that. You understand that before money is released from the company, there will always be a budget, and that budget will be well articulated, and then you can tell what this money will be utilized for and all of that, and what that particular thing you're going to buy is going to favor, or whether, or the need or the importance of that stuff to the company or organization, whether it is expenses, whether it is investment, or whatever it is. You must have details of what you want to get, what you want to invest in, or what you want to buy, and to understand if it has a value, if it is worth investing in, or worth buying, or spending on. That's how it is done. How will somebody come to tell you that they are fighting for freedom and you don't ask them, what plan do you have? They just tell you that, don't worry, very soon you're going to get freedom. We are doing this. We are going to buy weapons. We have killed this military here. We have killed that. And don't worry, we have our group. We're coming. You have not, oh Lord have mercy. And you get excited. You keep giving them money. Stop. Don't allow yourself to become a fool. You work hard all over the nations of the world. You give your money to criminals. The criminal is in Finland. He's not doing anything. He's feeding fat on your money. Look at the other criminal in US. Now I'm going to give you guys analogy on Ngozi Arabueze by tomorrow also. She's not, I don't like talking about them, calling their names anyways, because they are criminals. Give them cheap publicity or cheap on my own platform, on this hallowed platform. We don't call such kinds of names. But of course, sometimes we make references by calling their names. If you're working with a Nigeria agent, then how then do we think that you are not getting information? How then do we say that you are fighting for the freedom of the people, and at the same time not giving information to the Nigeria contraption to make more money? Thank you all, Biafrans. I appreciate you guys, and those of you who have sent messages. I appreciate you guys, your messages, and thank you so much, my guys. You're here doing the needful, and Biafrans are seeing these messages. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like this video and share on all your social media platforms. Let the message go far and wide to those places where people need to hear the truth and continue on the path of truth. Remember, we're going to get our freedom, but on only the truth. Only the weapon of truth can give us our freedom. So if you think you're going to patronize lies and think you're going to get freedom, even the next trillion years, you're not going to get it. So you better begin to think right and do the right thing, and we're going to get our freedom. I want to appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Biafra time, same time. We're going to be here, and we're going to be talking extensively and looking at our freedom, before us, as we patronize truth, as we do the right thing. And we say happy birthday to our leader one more time today, 25th of September 2023. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's birthday today is Monday. And even if he's in the dungeon, we still celebrate him because he's the greatest in our land, whether we like it or not. Because the man who has sacrificed himself to this extent, done all because of the people, we appreciate him. He's a great man, and God will bring him out safely. Chukwokike will bring him out safely, and he's going to come join us. Creator of heaven and earth, he will bring him out safely, come join us, and then we're going to go to our freedom. Remember, it is his day. Celebrate him, pray for him, and love him, and also expect his coming. No, but nothing can happen to him. The Nigeria contraption cannot do anything to him. Whatever they think they can, they can't. They don't have power over his life. So he's going to be out. And they know the consequences of anything happening to Mazi Nnamdi. Ignore all the messages that you see where people tell you, hey, they want to prompt you. They want you to watch their videos. They tell you the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's life is in danger. They want to kill him. Nothing can happen to him. We know his health situation is because of the torture and all of that, he's going to have some health problems. But those things cannot lead to his death. So anybody coming to make you feel like, hey, he's dying today, don't mind them. They just want to make you watch their audio and their videos so that they can get more subscription and all of that. So that's not what we should be listening to. We should listen to the positive side. God will preserve him and keep him. I want to thank you all. I want to appreciate you guys for the messages. I want to thank you all. Please like this video, share on all your social media platforms, on all platforms, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, now called X, wherever. Send on all those platforms, and at the same time, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Some of them ran away. They unsubscribed because they don't want to hear the truth. They ran away, but this time around we are coming strongly and we're growing. Thank you all. I appreciate you. God bless you. Really good.